Okay, so it's time for us to continue our coverage over Batman Knightquest. Now, technically, when I had wrapped up Knightquest Crusade and also Knightquest The Search, I thought we were officially done. And we could go ahead and move on to Knightsend, the final part of the Nightfall trilogy. But unfortunately, I forgot one single book that ends up Knightquest for us, but then leads us into Knightsend. And that will be Robin issue number 7 because it takes place right after you have Bruce and also Jack Drake come back into Gotham. But for Bruce Wayne, he has no idea what has been happening in Gotham while he was gone, and you had John Paul Valley being Batman. And so it's Bruce Wayne discovering that he has no choice but to come back and be the Batman for Gotham City all over again. Now, as we get into the opening pages for today's video, I kind of want to sit down and re-explain the whole idea of Nightfall. Now, as we all know, when it comes to Nightfall, it was a trilogy. You had Nightfall, Knightquest, and Knightsend. Now, when it came to Knightquest, it was broken up into two different storylines. You had Knightquest, The Crusade, and Knightquest, The Search. Now, The Crusade was really more about us following John Paul being Batman for a short period of time. But for The Search, it was more of Bruce Wayne and Alfred going out of their way to find Jack Drake and Sandra Kinsolving and bring them back home to Gotham City. Now, when it came to Search, you have Bruce being able to accomplish that goal. And so as we get into the opening pages for today's video, it's really more of Tim Drake realizing that his father is finally coming back home. And so we pick up with Tim and also Bruce Wayne waiting for Jack Drake's plane to arrive. Now, while you have the two characters waiting, it leads into more Bruce Wayne telling Tim that he is thinking about retiring because to him, John Paul has done nothing wrong at all because Tim did not tell Bruce anything at all when it came to John Paul being more aggressive, that John Paul had killed a man, that John Paul is crossing some lines when it comes to being a hero. Now, before Tim is able to tell Bruce Wayne anything at all, Jack's plane arrived. And so Tim has to go see his father that he had been missing for a very long time. And so while you have Tim, Jack, and Bruce Wayne heading back home because they're neighbors, you have Tim wondering like, should I tell Bruce Wayne anything at all when it comes to John Paul Valley? Because to Tim, he realized that Bruce is happy about the idea of retiring, the idea of no longer being Batman. To Bruce Wayne, John Paul must be doing a great job because Tim has not told him anything at all. Now, once you have our three characters get over to the home of the Drakes, and once you have Tim being able to put his father to bed, you didn't have Tim call Bruce Wayne over because Tim, he realized that, you know what? Gotham needs a real hero, somebody who's not like John Paul Valley. And so you have Tim pull Bruce to the side. And so as we get into the next section, it's Bruce Wayne discovering how bad things have gotten while he was gone. He goes over to Wayne Manor and he realized that Wayne Manor is torn up because John Paul has not been trying to take care of the place at all. Now for Bruce, he's also upset with Tim Drake because to him, he left Tim behind to say, hey Tim, I need you to stay here just in case anything happens to Gotham or if anything happens to John Paul Valley. If anything does happen, please tell me. It's Bruce saying, I trust you to help me out. And unfortunately, you broke my trust because now look where we are right now. We have a Batman out there who should not be Batman at all. And so you have Bruce and also Tim Drake being able to break into the Batcave that you had John Paul seal off from Wayne Manor. Now, while you have the two characters in the Batcave, you didn't have John Paul Valley arrive. Now, when he does walk into the Batcave, he's wondering, why in the world Bruce Wayne is in his Batcave? Like, yes, it belongs to Bruce Wayne. But when Bruce said, hey, John Paul, you're now Batman, to John Paul, everything is his. It's now his Batcave. Now for Bruce, he tells John Paul, dude, I got word from Tim that you have been going crazy out there in Gotham and you have to be stopped at this exact moment. But it's John Paul saying, First off, no. Secondly, it was you who had decided that I should become the next Batman. And honestly, I have been doing a great job. Because here's your problem, Bruce. You are afraid to cross that line. And honestly, with me crossing that line and putting those bad guys away for good, you now have more people out there being able to live their lives. Now, you have Bruce try his best to fight against John Paul, but the problem is Bruce is still trying to get back into that Batman form of his. And so, unfortunately, you have John Paul being able to easily defeat Bruce Wayne. He walks away, and you have John Paul say, "When I come back to the Batcave, I better not see you here at all." Now, for Tim, he's kind of like, enough is enough. I must stop John Paul here and now. And so you have Robin get into Redbird. Now, Redbird was Robin's version of the Batmobile, but either way, it's Tim Drake trying his best to run John Paul Valley off the road, who's currently in the Batmobile. But unfortunately for Robin, he's not really able to bring down John Paul that easily. And so Robin has no choice but to go ahead and retreat and go ahead and meet back up Bruce Wayne once again to think of a new game plan on how to bring down John Paul Valley. And so you have the book really in on the note where you have Robin meet up with Bruce Wayne at the secret barn. Now for Bruce Wayne, he realized that he's not really able to bring down John Paul Valley at this exact moment because even though his back is fully healed, his body is not up to par to be Batman. He has to reteach himself all those different skills he used when he was Batman in the past. But he needs somebody to help teach him those moves once again. And so he knows the perfect person to ask to help begin his training, to become the Batman once again, to hopefully bring down John Paul Valley and Knightsend. But this is where we're going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see you on the next comic book video. Later, guys.